Hey guys, I'm back with another gameplay video. This is a letter game, and we have TvZ against Kuba PL, which I'm gonna guess is Poland because he did have Polish flag as well, I think.
Not enough minerals.
So I'll be doing a very standard build, and the build is basically I'll gas first, I'll go Reaper, and I will go 4 Hellions. Just enough to defend against any Baneling busts, and I will follow that up with 2 Cloak Banshees, 3 3C, and then kind of standard bioplay from there. With the Banshees, I'll try to harass some drones, kill some drones, and kind of see at the same time what tech he's going for. So if I see roaches, I'll be making siege tanks. If I see Link Bane, I'll be transitioning just to, you know, normal, standard, good old bioplay. With a lot of mines, a lot of marines, a lot of medevacs, a lot of M's. Okay, so the base I want to expand is actually this one. A lot of people I've seen take this base. The problem with that base is, yes, it has more minerals, but it has only 1 gas, so it's not really that good. And actually all 3 races are avoiding that base very actively. I had games where the Zergs would expand like here, and then here, and still not take the natural simply because it has 1 gas. It also depends what kind of playstyle you're going for. You know, if you just want to mass Zergling, Baneling, you don't need that base as much. But if you're going for, or you can use that base, sorry. But if you're going for Roach Ravager, you cannot really take that base simply because it has only 1 gas. So your Roach Ravager production will be kind of wonky and awkward because you won't really be able to produce as many units as you want. Same thing with Protoss and Terran. I mean, 1 gas means that you won't really have enough money or enough gas to tech up properly your Protoss. And then if you're Terran, once you get your 3cc, you guys know that at one point you get double gas on the natural. Well, if your natural doesn't have double gas, then you won't be able to do your upgrades properly. So all in all, I think this will be, from this point on till the end of this map, this will be the base you kind of want to take as your natural, simply because of the gas income. Okay, so the second overlord is here, first one is here. It's important thing to remember that when you're playing, because you kind of want to know where your opponent is sending his overlords, so you can accordingly like hide or make buildings just in general, so that the Zerg cannot really scout you super easily.
Not enough minerals.
Wait, was he attacking those rocks from all the way up? Did you guys see that?
Add-on complete. Command center upgrade complete.
He was attacking those rocks from here. Interesting. I'm not sure that's bugged or planned, but that was my first time seeing that, so I'm not really sure. Probably a bug. Like, I can't imagine you're supposed to, you know, that was intended.
Add-on complete. Additional supply depots. Our SCV space is under attack.
Huh? Okay, so I kind of scouted everything I needed to scout.
Not enough minerals.
We're gonna start with the Banshee harass.
Not enough minerals.
And I'm gonna just finish this wall because I don't want Zerglings running by and me not paying attention to my units and kind of dying. When you play this map, you want to make sure...
Is under attack.
There we go. You want to make sure you kill the back rocks so the Zerg cannot run by from there.
Research.
cloak is done.
Our SCVs are under attack.
I got my ears.
Add-on complete.
I can't build here. Armed and ready.
Yeah?
SCV ready.
I got all of them.
SCV
He's taking a lot of damage against that.
build here.
Receiving.
SCV ready.
Not enough energy.
SCV ready.
Yeah? All of them.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Add-on complete. Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
Getting my 1-1 going.
Mayday! Mayday! Target.
Armed and ready. SCV go, go, go. What's going on?
Okay, so
Command
far
center upgrade.
everything is going
Not enough
pretty
minerals.
much perfect.
SCV ready. Ready for dust off.
Not enough minerals. Research complete.
I'm gonna try to keep harassing with his Banshee.
SCV ready.
Mayday! Mayday!
Not enough minerals.
7 kills on that
Additional
one.
Not enough minerals.
Go, go, go. Armed and ready.
Not
Not
enough.
bad at all.
Dust off. By the
Add-on complete. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. What's ready for dust off?
Not enough energy.
SCV ready. Oh yeah. SCV go, go, go.
Okay, so I don't really want to
Additional
push out
supply
yet.
depots.
Gangway
And
coming through.
the reason for that is I kind of want to wait for my 2-2
Additional
to
supply depots required.
finish.
Mineral field depleted. Additional supply depots.
Or 1-1, sorry. And then an
Additional
armory.
supply depots required.
Easy, boy.
And then from then on I'll have a much,
Additional
much stronger
supply
push.
depots required. Additional
Okay.
supply depots required.
Ready for dust off.
Upgrade complete.
SCV ready. Ready for dust off. It's heating up out here. Who wants some?
Okay.
Not enough. Research.
Gangway coming through. Let's go.
There's a lot of roaches.
Armed and ready.
So what I'll do is I'll transition into siege tanks.
Boy. Go, go, go.
Not enough minerals.
He still doesn't have a fourth, so
Boy.
I don't mind playing from this position
What's going
as long as I keep denying the fourth, which he might have expended on this side.
on? Want some? Gangway.
Mineral field depleted.
Yep. It's a lot of dead drones. So at this point I'm just trying to control the game. I'm not trying to really like end the game or anything like that. As long as we're on equal bases, I'm good with that.
Want some? Gangway coming through. Wait.
Mineral field depleted.
And that was it. Pretty straightforward game. So I'll be showing you guys the replay. We'll go straight into it. He wasn't as high in MMR, but the rules that I did and the things that I did in game still apply. So let's start with the build order itself. So this build is something that Koreans have been using quite a lot recently. And the build is very, very standard, very, very safe if you play, properly and react to things properly. So one thing it is weak against is fast layer attacks, but if you do spot that, you can always transition. Like if you spot fast layer, you don't need to get cloak on your banshees, and you can just make one banshee just to kind of force the Zerg to make spores, get a little bit of kills, and you'll also scout with the banshee to see if it is Spire or Nidus or anything like that. So again, early game, this Reaper just keeping the CC alive, and now I want to scout if he's expanded to the third base or not. Meanwhile, back at home, getting some Hellions again. If the Zerg is going Baneling Bust, I want to be able to defend that properly. Look at his Lings. It's sick that I can attack from above. That has to be a bug. There's no way that's intended. And one thing to note is because he took this base, he can't really go 2-base Muta, right? Because it doesn't really make sense. If you want to go 2-base Muta, it would make a lot more sense to get this base for the double gas. So I'm already thinking, like, while I was in the game, you know, it's probably not 2-base Muta or any kind of rush to Muta, not necessarily 2-base, because it did see the third. So I know it's either like some heavy Link Bane play or perhaps just Mass Roach, because that's something that you don't need a lot of gas. Once you add up Ravagers to that unit comp, that's where you need all the gas. So at this point I kind of knew what I was fighting against, and I did see quite a few Lings chasing my Reaper earlier. So he tried to do this kind of like run by, which is why you want to keep these Hellions in your home and not try to harass with them or anything like that. I've seen people before kind of push out with the Hellions, and then they end up doing a run by, they lose the Hellions, and then this kind of big Ling run by kind of completely wrecks your natural. So definitely don't do that. Keep it defensive. They're just there to protect you. If you do builds that you make more than 4 Hellions, you can go aggressive with it, but just 4 is kind of, you know, just being safe against Ling run bys and Ling Bane busts. So at this point, because I'm playing on Blood Boil, this base is pretty safe to take, right? I don't need to make it in base because it is walled off. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to kill this very quick, so I don't get you know, Ling run bys killing my SCVs. And here, the first thing that you want to do, or in this situation, because he did expand to the natural, I'm checking for drones in the third. I go into the natural and just kind of start to harass. He actually did not see the cloak Banshee, well, until I started harassing, because his overlords, one of his overlords was here, and then another overlord was here. Now, if you guys remember, while I was playing, I said that it's very important to keep track of the overlords so you know where to build your buildings and where to send your units. So earlier in the game, I saw that one overlord was going here, and usually they leave that overlord right in this position, because if you look at his vision, he can see when I'm moving out. And then the other overlord, when I scattered with the Reaper right here, was going this way. So I knew that the overlord was going to be positioned here and not here. So once I made the Banshees, I sent the Banshees through this path, so it cannot be scouted. So he had basically no idea that this is coming, and ended up taking a lot of damage because he was very, very caught off guard by this. The Banshees do a lot of harassing. Make sure you shift Q on the drones to make sure that your Banshee isn't, you know, attacking queens or anything like that. And back in my home, my third is done. I'm transitioning into 5 barracks and double engineering bay. The proper way to do this is once your third CC is planted, you want to make +2 barracks, and then 2 engineering bays, and then 2 more barracks, while you're making add-ons with Starport and the factory. After this, you can see I added the double gas, because again, you will need that gas income to be able to produce 2-2 and to be able to produce medevacs, and without it, you simply won't be able to, and then you'll end up cutting the medevacs, or, you know, the wooden mines, or stim or shields or anything like that. And that would happen if you took this base as your natural. From here on out, I'm making a reactor on the factory, because at this point I only saw, let me see, I did see a roach one here actually. Oh yeah, that was with this Banshee. But I saw actually no roaches until this point. I only saw Zergling and just huge queen numbers. I did see one Evo chamber only, which was a little bit weird. And again, seeing no gases here on the third base once I was harassing just now with the Banshee, I noted he's not taking to anything, you know, like mutas or even fast hive, simply because he's actually just not mining the gas. He lost 18 drones, which is quite a lot. And again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to know where the overlords are and to not send your flying units, whether it's a medevac, Raven, or Banshee, in their path, but kind of try to avoid it. At this point, I was pushing. I was picking off every overlord that I could. It actually gives me a free overseer right here, which is always nice. And again, I see another overlord. I don't see a fourth base, which is usually the Zergs take this base because, you know, it is a gold base, so why wouldn't you, right? And his creep sprint is kind of lacking at this point. The Queens were trying to defend Banshees, which didn't really work out. And again, just from basic Banshee harass, this game kind of completely failed for him, to be honest. Like, everything went wrong for him. And again, when you play StarCraft, you can see even in the supply, if you end up losing workers super early, the supply after that will be quite difficult. You know, some people might say like, oh, did Zerg has equal amount of drones again? Yes, but instead of him mining with those 18 drones he lost, he had to replace them, and then everything he has is late, from Spire to upgrades and even units, so he just cannot afford anything at this point. I try to drop, but there's units in position, and again, I don't want to force a fight, just denying the fourth. And I think him knowing that he cannot really take the gold, he tried to take this one, maybe hope it wouldn't get scouted. But with the creep spread denying and just kind of him being pretty far behind from the start of the game, he wasn't really able to do much. Meanwhile, I saw the roaches, so I started transitioning into another factory, swapped this factory onto the tech lab, so making siege tanks, getting my 2-2. And once around my 2-2 is done, after producing the units the whole time, I like to make the fort base around that timing. And because I saw roaches and I didn't see muta yet at this point, I'm making a missile turrets on the front, simply because I don't want to die to something like roaches or lose a lot of SCVs, not necessarily die. So because I have the Banshee here, and I was just at the gold, I know this is the only base he can expand to. And he ends up trying to, loses even more drones, and then kind of goes for this desperate engage, which does not really work out. At this point, another cute thing you can abuse, by the way, is in this spot, you burrow your Widow Mines on the low ground, so the Zerg won't really pay attention, and then you drop on the high ground attack, and when the Zerg comes, you pull back, wait for the Widow Mines to like pop off, lift your Marines into the medevac, drop them again, and it's kind of like a very annoying position for the Zerg to deal with. Now at this point, he goes for, again, this attack, which doesn't really work out. A little bit of splitting and a little bit of micro from my side, just ends up winning the game. Now this game was pretty one-sided, pretty straightforward, but I wanted to upload it for the reason that TvZ is something that people have struggled with, and in my opinion against Zerg you need to do early game damage. Make sure that you keep track of the overlords, know where they're moving so you can move your flying units, because the Zerg needs to react differently to each of your harass types. So if it's Raven, he needs to react one way, if it's a cloak Banshee another way, and then if it's just a hellbat attack, he needs a lot of units. So if you kind of deny the Zerg from scouting that by positioning your units like all the way here, or just kind of not flying them through the overlords, your harass will be much better. And kind of transitioning pretty well after that into a third CC, and then more barracks gives you a very strong timing push and harass potential, as you can see. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was it for this gameplay plus replay analysis. I cannot talk today apparently. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you next time.